y'all. My name is Jasmine Jones. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and welcome to Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. Today we are going to be talking about saying no and regaining your power. How you can utilize the word no and, declining things to regain your power, regain your strength. So stay tuned. So, how do we know when we should say no? Any moment that makes you feel uncomfortable. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. And I think the biggest thing with saying no is learning how to be okay with the fact that you're saying no. You see, it's difficult for me to even think of other reasons to say no besides being uncomfortable. It's like if I don't want to do something, I don't have the time, or I just don't want to do it because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't have the time to say, well, I feel uncomfortable because I have to move my schedule around and change things up. So that's the main reason to say no. It's just something that you don't want to do because it makes you feel uncomfortable, something that you can't do because you don't have the time to do it, or something that you can't do because you feel emotionally or mentally exhausted. So those are three ways to know that it's okay to say no in this situation. Completely uncomfortable, don't want to do it. Mentally exhausted, don't have the time to do it. And then also, when we are worried about saying no, we really want to put the onus on ourselves. Like, we're the selfish ones because this person reacted in a messed up way to us. When in reality, it's more so the person's inability to take responsibility for hearing the word no. Take responsibility for themselves, because an answer to a question usually is going to be either yes, I can do this, or no, I can't do this. So learning that just because someone has a kind of conflictual reaction to our no is basically realizing that this is this person's issue. That's your issue. You have an issue with hearing the word no. I don't. I can do it. So, and that's the answer of the day is no. So, you are mainly experiencing the consequences of their issue when they get mad at you, when they get huffy, because they're not taking the time to recognize, well, what did they have to do today? Why are they saying no to me? They must be busy today, and I care enough about them to understand that they're busy. Maybe they don't want to do this thing I'm asking because it makes them uncomfortable, and I care enough about them to care whether or not care about their comfort levels, basically. And so when you put that responsibility on the other person, as it should be, you're saying, oh, well, I expect you to care about me too, not just me caring about you and your issues. So if this person is requiring you to care about them and their issues, and you have to say no, then, then that's when you have to reassess the relationship, the friendship, the family relationship. And it's not necessarily like ditching this person, but putting up boundaries, teaching this person how you want to be treated. I'm saying no, I'm putting my foot down, and there's nothing else that you can say or do to change my mind at this moment. And you need to be okay with that. And I'm not talking about, we're trying to find a balance. So we're not talking about the extremes of I'm always going to say no, I only think about myself first, or the other extreme of being extremely passive and I only think about other people first and I never consider myself and I run myself ragged till I'm tired. We're finding the middle where if we can't do something and we know we can't, we don't want to do something and we know we don't want to do it, being okay with saying no in that moment. But of course, maybe down the line, that might be something when I have time that I can do, or maybe down the line, because I can't think of any other reason why you would do something that you absolutely didn't want to do, something that made you uncomfortable. So there's no other reason to go into for that. But, if someone asks you to do something, maybe there's something down the line that you can do. And then we'll go into that when we discuss the different types of no's. Okay, so how to say no. So there's different ways to say the word no. There is just the common no. That's it. That's hard to do. So sometimes what I like to do to practice saying no is I will take my camera and I will turn it around and I will record myself saying no. no, 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 no. And then I'll go to the video and I'll just play it. And no, 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 no. And basically what that does is kind of help with the fear that surrounds no, the word no. It helps it helps you to like see yourself and see, whether or not are you saying no harshly? Probably not, but at least you have evidence of you not doing that. You have a recording of you not saying no in a harsh way, like when you have to rethink certain ways that you spoke to somebody and then you try to repeat exactly what you said in that same tone of voice, and you're like, maybe I did say something in a harsh way, maybe I did get attitude. But in reality, if you record yourself and you practice, it makes it easier for you to say no out in the real world, because now you're practicing it. You know how it sounds on the tip of your tongue, and it's not as scary. And also you get to see yourself, and you get to see your tone of voice and whether or not, So just saying no and practicing saying no, those are ways to say no. A negotiated no. So a negotiated no is basically, okay, so I can't do this thing you're asking me right now, but how about we reschedule it for this day? And then if you're unable to reschedule it, how about we brainstorm some ways, some people that might be able to help you with this, because I can't help you with it right now. So you're not saying no, you're saying no and you're giving options. So that's a negotiated no. I'm saying no, and I'm also giving you options on how this problem can be solved in another way without me, because I'm not able to do this thing. That's the easiest way to start off saying no to people. Just making sure that you stick to the compromise that you made with the person. So when you do a negotiated no, you have to stick to it. You can't just be like, oh, well, okay. You can't let that person talk you into some BS, basically. So there is a regular no where we practice saying no in the mirror a bunch of times. There's a negotiated no. What other kinds of no's are there? Because I'm kind of blunt, so I just be like, no. Blunt no. Like, no. I can't do that right now. No, I can't. And I can't no. Let's see. What are other ways to say no? I would say a no without any other response after it. So that is just a simple no. Like, I know it sounds like the first one though, but like, because it's like we like to say no, and then when people try to continue the conversation afterwards, like, but wait, let's talk and do, and they try to beg you into it, and it's basically the cutoff no. Like, no, I'm not debating, I'm not having I'm not doing this, and that no works very well for when you are in situations where you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to do something. Like, no, and we hang on to that no for dear life, and we let it lead us away from that situation as safely as possible. Take a deep breath and then say no. So it's kind of like you're settling your mind, you're settling that anxiety by focusing on your breath. No. Simple, calm, relaxed. See, I even got a little bit calmer. It's kind of hype. What else? The count to 3 in your head, no. So you count to 3 to quiet those negative, intrusive thoughts that might tell you, well, I should say yes and I should do this because this person wants me to do this. So the calm 1, 2, 3, no but you count the 1, 2, 3 in your head, of course. So who we say no to basically is anybody, basically. Being able to say no, even to your parents, and not like if you're kids and you're just going around just saying no for no reason, and you're supposed to do chores and stuff, and you just don't want to do it just because, whatever. More so like knowing that if there is something truly uncomfortable that someone is asking you to do, no matter who they are, you're able to be like, this is not what I want for myself. And so I'm going to shout no to the rooftops and get out of the situation. So basically knowing that you can turn down and deny anybody. No one has the power to hold anything over your head when it's something that you don't want to do. And it's powerful because it's like, it's saying that I can walk away from any situation and turn my life into what I want it to be, and no one can hold anything over my head, pretty much. No one can come in and say, well, I have this on you, and if you don't do what I say, then I'm gonna, spread this around. And it's like, so. And that kind of goes into liking yourself too. So I'm going to do a video about that, about liking yourself and liking who you are as a person and stuff like that. So, but that no is a good place to start. Learning how to turn down people. And that comes from that deep inner conviction of, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm caring about myself more. I'm tired, or I don't have the time, or it's just making me uncomfortable. Caring about yourself more, to not put yourself in situations that cause you exhaustion and cause you to feel like all certain types of ways that you don't want to feel. So we say no to anybody. We say no to our kids when, we don't want them to do things that will hurt themselves. We say no to, other people in our other people in our family when, they are exhausting our emotional resources. Learning how to say no to abusive relationships, and then along with no's, comes making sure that you have a safe way of getting out of the situation. So before all the no's, before we're turning down things, making sure that the situation is safe to say no, physically and emotionally safe, and that you have a safe way of getting out of the situation once you do say no, because people are so triggered by the word no that you never know how they're going to react to it. And that's why you can't internalize their being triggered by the word no. That's not your fault, whatever they went through to make them feel triggered. That has nothing to do with you. So learning that I can say no, and I'm going to learn how to be okay with it, because I'm not going to internalize other people's issues because they can't handle the word no. They can't handle me turning them down. They can't handle me trying to negotiate with them and figure out a better way for this thing that they want to happen, So let's say a supervisor. So you're at work and your supervisor is just piling on the paperwork. They might be under the impression that, since you always say yes, and you always put out 150% work ethic, productivity, that you'll be okay with this extra paperwork, that you'll be fine with this will be okay. And then what happens is you have this paperwork piled on you and you don't know what to do, and then you're having a mental breakdown and you're getting depressed and you're getting anxious and all these bad things are happening, and it's like all it could have taken was a conversation. So going to your supervisor, explaining what's going on with you, it doesn't have to be deep. It could just be like, this is what's happening with me, and this is why this is a lot of work for me. So I need you to take this. Is there any way we can divvy this up amongst my other coworkers, or make the deadline a little bit extended a little bit more, or something like that? So that's another no that I forgot, is the negotiation, but also expression of your feelings no. So you express why you're saying no, basically. So expressing why you're saying no is another way to say no. Like, this is overwhelming for me. This is tiring. I can't do this. So I'm going to have to say no. We're going to have to figure out another way that we can get this work done. So express how you feel. Tell people, I always say I get depression. I didn't post a video last week, and it's not even because no one's watching these videos. It's because I was depressed all last week, and I was laid up in bed asleep as much as I could between my day job and my private practice, and being on the online talk thing for therapists. So yeah, I have come to the point where I don't really care what people think, because it's very empowering when you realize that you've been through so much. This is going off on a tangent, but it's kind of about it. It's like, when it's empowering when you realize you've been through so much that nothing really phases you at this point. Like nothing anybody says or does or how they look down on you. It's like if I lost all my money today, I would just figure out how to make more because I've been poor before, so it doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me to be poor again. It doesn't scare me that somebody has an attitude with me. It's like, I don't care. That's their issue. That's their bag. I'm handing it to them. Here is your bag, ma'am. Keep that for yourself. It doesn't bother me because it's like I already have enough negative thoughts that I think about myself. So whatever someone else thinks can never compare. And it doesn't even, like I said, it doesn't really matter because I've just been through so much and experienced so many things in my life where I'm just kind of like, I'm almost 32. So I'm still pretty young, but I just noticed that black folks, no matter what age, by the age of 10, you've experienced the world a lot of times. A lot of times, you know, you grow up with nice families and whatever, most likely not, but I didn't, and most of the people that I grew up with in the 90s didn't grow up in some wholesome household with amazing people and all this other stuff. I'm rambling, but yeah, so expressing how you feel while also saying no is another way to say no. Empower yourself with the word no. It is a powerful thing. And then hang on to it. When an intrusive thought starts to come into your head, just magically think of a sign that says no, 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 over and over again until like those thoughts start to dim and they start to fade, you know? They start to fade away because all you're focused on is that big sign in your head that says no, no, no. I'm going to put a little thing here that's blinking and it says no, no, no. And then that will help like stop those intrusive thoughts and help you gain that power. Like I said, there's power in the word no. It basically lets people know that they can't control you. No matter what happens, no matter how down in the dumps you get, you'll rise above it. And, you know, you don't have to do all these crazy things and backflips and flip-flops for people in order to feel happy and rise above. You can say no, and you can live your life, and you can figure out a different path for yourself on how to be happy. How to be content, at least, you know, just content with life, at peace. Like, I'm okay with what's going on in my life. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to try to post these like either Sunday or Mondays once a week, just because like I did that whole litany of how I have job on top of job. I feel like, who is that guy from that show that had like a bunch of jobs? Oh, Everybody Hates Chris. I feel like him, yeah, like this job, that job, that job. But, you know, it works. It works. And maybe this can be turned into something one day. Who knows? I think I'm pretty interesting. I don't know. But, yeah. So, my question for this video, I'm going to always leave a question just in case someone pops by and it helps somebody, is, have you ever been afraid to say no? And how did you overcome that fear? Okay, that's it for today. Have a great, well, I'm going to post this on Sundays. So have a great rest of your weekend because it's a 3-day weekend. Yeah. Peace.